Good evening, I am Mr. Ish. Thank you for joining me for this video. I recently presented a video on degrees and radians. We're just looking at the degrees with a slightly bit of more detail. If you look on your scientific calculator, there's a specific button on this, and we need to examine that button. It looks something like this. You have degrees, then you have minutes, and then you have seconds. And then on top of that, you have an arrow. The purpose of this button is for you to be able to convert something which may look like this, like 17.056 degrees, into a different format where you convert it into some sort of degrees, and then you have some sort of minutes, and then you have some sort of seconds. You should be able to do this conversion from here to here. You should also be able to do the conversion back that way. You can invoke this reverse function by hitting the shift button on your calculator, and you hit this button. You can input a number which looks like this by simply hitting the degree part, then hit the button, then it activates, and you can enter the minutes, then you hit the button again, it activates, and you can enter the seconds, and then it converts something in this format into decimal format. The arrow on the top will convert this back into that form. What we need to do is understand how this procedure works. It's not hard, it's just a little tricky. Let's take this as an example, 17.516 degrees. We want to convert this into degrees, minutes, and seconds. The first thing you look at is the whole number part. That automatically becomes your degrees. That's easy. Then you look at this entire part right here. You have 0.516. You want to convert it into minutes multiplied by 60. When we look right here, 0.516 times 60, I get 30.96. This 30 right here, I'm going to save only the whole number component. That will become my minutes. I got a 30.96. This whole number component became my minutes. This decimal portion now, I'll multiply that by another 60 and I'll get my seconds. So I'll do 0.96 times 60 and I'll get my seconds, and it'll be 57.6 seconds. And that right there is how you take this into this format. Your other option is just right here on your calculator, enter 17.516, hit this button right here which I showed you, and it'll give you 17 degrees, 30 minutes, 57.6 seconds, and you can verify that. We'll take a look at another example. If you have something which is minus 1.051 degrees, you know this is a clockwise angle. Anyhow, this part right here becomes your minus 1 degrees. You do the 0.051 right here, you multiply that by 60, and that gives you your minutes. So let's do that. 0.051 times 60. I get a 3.06. That whole number component will become my minutes. I got a 3.06. The whole number component became my minutes. The fractional component here, you multiply that by 60 and you get your seconds. So 0.06 times 60 and I get 3.6 seconds, and that part is done. Other option is write this number as you see it. Hit 1.051 and a minus, and then shift that button I showed you, and it'll give you minus 1 degrees, 3 minutes, 3.6 seconds. So this right here is a forward procedure. Let's learn the reverse procedure. The reverse procedure is not hard, just maybe a little bit tricky. Reverse procedure is such as this. You have something which looks like in the degrees, minutes, and seconds format. You have to convert this into a decimal format. This part right here automatically becomes your whole number component for the decimal. This part right here has to be done in a unified manner. The unified manner is this. The minutes is 4 divided by 60 plus the seconds is 1 divided by 3600, because there's 60 seconds in each minute and you have 60 minutes. 60 times 60 gives you that 3600. This in a unified component will give you your decimal component right there. You'll do 4 divided by 60 plus 1 divided by 3600, and you get your 0.06694, and that right there is your answer. The other way you could verify this is actually use your calculator to do the procedure. Hit 30, hit that button, and now you can input the minutes. Hit 4, hit the button, you can input the seconds, and now hit shift and that arrow on top, you get 30.066944 degrees, and that right there is your final answer. We have minus 40 degrees, 20 minutes, and 30 seconds. This here automatically becomes your whole number component for the decimal. This is done in a unified manner. 20 divided by 60 plus 30 divided by 3600. Do this and you'll get your decimal part and the remainder that you want. 20 divided by 60 plus 30 divided by 3600, I get 0.34166. 34166, repeating degrees. Again, you can test yourself here with the calculator. Input 40 with a minus and hit that button and activate the minutes. Input 20, activate the button and input the seconds. 30, hit shift and that arrow. You get minus 40.34166 and it rounds it up. And that right there is this conversion procedure in a nutshell, and you should know how to do this. So now for the actual test of 2 questions. Question number 1, we'll convert 14.772 into degrees, minutes and seconds format. Question number 2 we'll convert this 100 degrees, 5 minutes and 56 seconds into degree format with the decimals. So let's do this. Here, when I'm looking at this, I'm automatically using the 14 and it's becoming my degrees, 14. Then I'm looking at 0.772 and multiplying by 60. I'll do 0.772 times 60, I get a 46.32. This 46, the whole number component, will become my minutes. The fractional component 0.32 will be multiplied by another round of 60 to give me my seconds, and we'll do that. 0.32 times 60, I get a 19.2 seconds. We'll always test our answers out here because we want to be confident. So you do 14.772, hit that shift button and that main function, you get 14 degrees, 46 minutes, 19.2 seconds. And that leaves us with this last question. We have to convert this format into a decimal format. This part right here will automatically become your 100 and then a decimal point. You'll do this in a unified manner. 5 divided by 60 plus 56 divided by 3600, and you'll do this computation and it'll come right over here. 5 divided by 60 plus 56 divided by 3600, and you get a 0.0988 repeating degrees. Of course, you can use your calculator and test it out, and we'll do 100. We'll bring that button and it'll allow us to input minutes. We'll input the minutes, hit the button again, and we can input the seconds. Now we get the shift and the function on top is activated. You get 100.09888 degrees, and that brings us to the closure of this video. A good technique for converting degrees into minutes and seconds format and that back into that, and you can get more accurate representations here because you're no longer only dealing with whole numbers, you got fractional components involved, and makes everything more accurate. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.